Hello, everybody. Hello. Just wanted to come on here. It's been a little while. And I wanted to jump on here. Hello to whoever's watching and whoever decides to watch it on the replay. I thank you. Thank you for just hanging out with me for a few minutes. So why am I on here? Why did I come on here? So this week has been a little bit of an extra intense week for me. A little extra busy, and I'm at a specialized training this week. I'll just say that, and it's been a great learning experience. Another, I always say, another one of God's, God did it moments. Let's put it like that. So it's been a great week, but intense. So but why did I come on here? I came on here because sometimes we don't see how things move in a certain way. And sometimes we feel that, things get to be a lot. And then you see what maybe somebody else is going through, and you realize that you just need to stay in peace and that you can do it, and you can do more than you actually think. But so this week, even while I'm going through this training and meeting my assignments and doing all of these different things, I still get calls and messages and things that I have to address. And at times I don't get to do them right away, especially this particular week, because of the fact that I've had to not be on my devices as much, because again, it is classroom stuff. It is, I just assignments and things that I have to take care of. But in the interim of that, I've gotten a couple of messages and calls from parents regarding, once again, the bullying, the fact that a lot of schools are not addressing these things properly once again. And also parents are in, I guess, the way it sounds, I don't want to make assumptions, but that they're not doing their part when it comes to their child. So then what happens is I come home and I just happened to, because I was checking messages and whatever, and I jump on social media, and what do I see? I see a video of a young girl in Ohio who was attacked for speaking Spanish. She was talking to her friends as they got off the school bus and whatever, and basically it was a bullying moment. Somebody was offended because they were speaking Spanish to each other, and they were told basically not to speak Spanish. People were bothered by it, and so this young girl, just starts. She knocked, hit her from the back, and just real, very overly aggressive behavior. You could see that the victim did not want to fight. And it really upset me for a few reasons. Number one, when are we going to stop? Especially as young women, as young girls, when is this going to stop? Why do I keep seeing young women, girls, young women, and even grown women tearing each other apart, getting into these brawls and these fights? And this was absolutely ridiculous and unnecessary. Her friend tried to help her. And again, you could see that these girls were just not the type. Okay, you already know what I'm saying. And but for speaking Spanish, like, who do you think you are to say I speak Spanish? So who do you think you are to tell me that I can't speak a language that I'm familiar with, that I'm talking to a friend of mine in our language? I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking about you. We're not in a small contained area. I'm walking down the street speaking my language. And you think that you can bully me to do what you want me to do? Like, when is this nonsense going to stop? And why does it feel like we're going backwards? Then what upset me again, even more, was the fact that when the parents asked the school to address this, the answer they came up with was their daughter, the victim, can stay home. Oh, they'll just have her do her work from home. Not addressing the attacker. Not, let's bring the parents in and let's deal with the matter. But now this little girl has to be cut off from everybody and from, just going to school and seeing her friends and being around other people. She's got to be the one to stay home and get her education until the matter, until they think it's safe enough for her to return. Like, when are adults and these systems and these, when are we gonna be adults? When are we gonna be people in authority? When are we going to decide that all children matter? Okay, and let's find out. Let's bring this to the table. And little girl, why are you so aggressive? What was that even about? So it was very upsetting to watch, because I didn't grow up in a neighborhood where there were predominantly Spanish people. So could that have been me at a time? Yeah. And actually, I'll say this. I got into a fight as a young girl. And because the girl who was supposed to be my friend, somebody told her to F that, talk about me, Puerto Rock up at the time. Just because it was cute, because it was funny, because I was different. And so then I was in a fight. So I know what that feels like. But I was taught to fight back. But does it have to be that way? Does it have to be that our children are behaving this way? Especially, I'm going to keep it real, in our communities. Not that it doesn't happen in other places. But what is it that we're seeing? Where is this aggression coming from? Little girl, why are you so angry? Why did you feel that you should behave like that? Did you feel that way because you felt it was a good moment? Did you feel that way because you felt she was soft? Because she wasn't going to fight back and it was going to somehow make you look bigger and more powerful and give you some street cred? Like, what? Why? And I always go back to the same thing that I always talk about. And I always mention my niece who was bullied, who took her life, who was 12 years old, who took her life because it just got so bad. Because not only were they bullying her in school, but those kids were also from her neighborhood. Some of them lived on her block, and it was relentless. And no, she was not an aggressive child. But do we have to teach our children? And I'm just going to use this word, and I'm not calling children animals. I'm not, is that what we're doing? Are we raising them in a way where then when we release them into the streets, they display this animalistic behavior, especially when they don't even have to? Somebody's not even bothering you. And so for a parent not to be called to the carpet, not to be called in and have to represent their child, I have a problem with that. Because that's exactly what happened with Maria. Her mother kept going to the school. Her mother tried to get her counseling because she was talking about how she felt. Because then her mother went to the precinct. Then her mother she tried to get help. And can we make this stop? Can we put children in their place and have them be children? Like, what are we doing? Like this little girl, I watched this video and she got ragged because she was speaking Spanish Really? I'm sure that there was probably more to the story. Maybe she didn't like the girl, whatever. But still, who are you to put your hands on me? And why do I then have to feel, and I say I, because I was that way in my younger day. It does make you a little bit more aggressive and at ready. And then we wonder when kids start doing things like, I remember as a youth officer, I would go to a school or whatever, and they said they found a kid with a weapon. And when you sit down with the child, it was because they were being intimidated. They were being bullied because they were being threatened. They were scared. And so they brought that thing to school that they shouldn't have brought to school. So we're putting these kids in situations to make decisions that they're not ready for. Because the truth is, and I saw that video, if that little girl would have hit her head on that ground a certain way, and she would have ended up, God forbid, at the hospital in a coma, God forbid, would have died. That little girl that thought she was tough was going to go to jail. And at this point, I don't believe that these parents are pressing charges, but the girl had bruises. That is called assault. Again, this happened in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio. It just really upset me. And I came on here because my voice has not been, it's not that I've been silent or that I haven't felt the need to post just to post. I don't go live just to go live. I don't have a schedule to go live. I do them as I'm led to do them and to, but people, we got to do better. I know COVID, kids were in their homes, at home for a while. I know a lot of schools and administrators, I think in a way are still kind of, I don't know, not quite ready to do their jobs. I don't think a lot of people really wanted to return to work. Whatever it is, our children need us to do the right thing. Our children need us to do our jobs. Don't tell me that the only answer you have is that this little girl who did nothing wrong except get off the bus with her friends, and I'm speaking to you in the language that we know, because I'm talking to you, to my friend. I'm talking to you. I wasn't talking to you, girl who wanted to put your hands on me for that. Yes, Darius, we have to pray for our children and parents are responsible. But I always say that along with prayer, there has to be action, because we cannot be silent, in our own, in addition to prayer and in addition to the expectation that parents should be responsible, then we're going to have to do something about the parents that don't want to be responsible. They have to be held accountable for what their children are doing. And that's just the bottom line. I'm a mother and I'm a grandmother. And I used to tell my kids when they were younger, I'm going to have your back, especially when you're right. If you're wrong, then we have to talk about what happens next. And I used to tell my kids that all the time. And there were times when that had to come into play. And so we have to stop saying, not my child. We have to stop pretending and then putting up little pictures of our kid looking all cute at their in their communion picture or their little graduation picture when they just did something dirty in these streets. Period. Because I don't want to see any more Marias. I don't want to see kids feeling so helpless that they feel that's the only answer is for them to no longer be here. I don't, or to commit a crime that they're not ready to pay for. Because I've seen that side too. I remember seeing this young girl, 16 years old, arrested for stabbing another girl in her chest. The girl died at the hospital. And she did that because she was scared and she was being threatened and she was being bullied. Every time they saw her, they would come for her on her block. And I saw that. So I see both sides to it. So we got to get it together. We should not be going backwards. Spanish people have been in this country for many years. My family, when they came here from Puerto Rico, my mother did not know English. They did not speak English. They spoke Spanish. And they came here to work. They came here to go to school. I didn't come here to bother you or to be bothered by you. So what I'm saying is we have to do a better job at being there for our children, at representing our children. School officials, do your job. That school out there, and the father posted it, and I'm glad that he did. And he put an at to the school. He tagged them in it. They have to answer for what happened. Otherwise, this stuff will keep going on. And then these kids think, oh, I could do this and just move on. And I'm free. I'm free to come to school. After I did what I did, look, you committed a crime. That's what you did. You're not tough. It doesn't make you more powerful. And so I just came on here to say that. Let's be responsible for our children. Yes, let's pray for our children. Let's get them involved and engaged. We're coming out of a time where they were pent up for so long. Parents were stressed out, school officials and everything else. I get it, but our children did not ask to be here. Do not put other people and other parents in a situation where they now feel that they're going to have to do what they're going to have to do to protect their children, because then you create a bigger problem. Like I said, I got a couple of parents reach out to me. I had a couple of parents reach out to me, and I have to get back to them because, like I said, I've been at this training, and their concerns were leading right back to what we're talking about right now. Because it's not just bullying like we think it is, from when we were younger. And these children don't respond the way that maybe some of us did back in the day. And everybody is not built the same way. Everybody wasn't taught, to, just go out there and defend yourself. Just go out there and do what you got to do. Because telling them to do that can also land them in jail. Can also land them with a juvenile record. Can also, it's, let's do our job, parents. Let's do our job. Let's stop. Stop and stop waiting. Stop waiting. Stop saying, oh, you don't got time. I don't got time to go to that school. I can't be bothered with this. Oh, well, it's not my problem that their kid is soft. Oh, well, what you want me to do? Because, I remember hearing a lot of those answers when I was working with the youth. And I'm sure the answers haven't changed that much. Because I have a parent now who the school is not doing anything to help them. And we're not even talking about in a neighborhood that is, whatever. Because sometimes we say in certain neighborhoods it is a little rougher than others. And that is true. Because I definitely grew up in some rough neighborhoods. And I went to some rough schools. It is what it is and it was what it was. But it's not okay. And so that's why I came on here. Because I'm here to say, I don't know who you think you are. And I hope that, and I pray that this is not something that's going to be trending where, people think that, stop speaking Spanish. You can't speak Spanish around me or I'm going to do, nah. No, the devil is a liar. That devil is a liar. People speak all kinds of languages. And last I checked, this was the United States of America. Okay? So, I love y'all. I love y'all with the love of Christ. And no matter what side of that coin that you land on, depending, I don't know, because some people know that their children are bullies. They do. And they do nothing about it. And then there are those whose children are being bullied and they don't know what to do. But it's time to, it's high time. It's high time. It's like enough is enough. Seriously. We just want to keep, new reasons why, you bullying people. Stop it. But this was really more for the parents. We got to do the right thing. All right. So, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Again, if you're watching it on the replay, thank you. And I hope that, We got to come up with something. But I know that I will be looking into those situations and see how I can help in any way as far as those parents that reached out to me this week. But sidebar, children live what they learn. Parents, please embrace the right way to live. Your children are watching. Amen, Rachel. Amen. Children live what they learn, and that is so true. So true. You know, parents it's sad because, like I said, I'm a grandmother, and I didn't grow up watching my grandmother tangle up with just, or just be out there just doing any kind of thing. Like, I witnessed her being a mother and being a grandmother and taking care of her home and, taking care of us and teaching us, exactly. We lived, we learned what we saw them living out. Like, what is this mentality? Like, it's got me like, let me tell you something. I have a 7-year-old granddaughter. When she comes to me, when she's with me, I don't even put certain things on the television. And I'm not saying she's not exposed. She goes to school. She's almost 8 years old, but she's not going to see it around me. She's not going to hear me doing it or see me doing it, because I know that I have to be an even better example to her. Bottom line, whatever you do in your little private time, that's your private time. Don't do it in front of your children, and stop sending your kids out there that, they're not little, they're not little pit bulls, little guard dogs, little lions. And no, for them to go out there in these streets and tangle up with people. No. The enemy would love nothing else but to strip us, of our children. We see it all the time. Young people dying in these streets, going, shot, stabbed, or just doing all type of stuff. Prisons and all. If they're not dying in the streets, they're dying in prisons. Come on. So we got to do better. And they say that when you know better, you do better. A lot of people know. They know better. They just ain't doing better. So it takes more than just knowing better, to do better. And so thank you for your comments. Thank you, Rachel, for that comment. That is absolutely true. And so again, I thank you. And yeah, the Marie movement is still going. And I guess just as a sidebar, next Saturday, May 7th, I will be in Jersey at Hudson Church. This is a PS sidebar for their Mother's Day event that they do every year. It's a beautiful, they put on beautiful events over there at Hudson Church in Jersey. And but the session that I will be how appropriate that session will be for girls and young women from the ages of 12 to 21. So there'll be a special session that they will have with me. So I posted the flyer. I keep posting the flyer on my timeline. Hopefully you come across it. Guys, pass it on, pass the word. Ladies need to register and just wear some cute orange. They just want to see some orange in the place. That's the color. That's their color for this year. And so, again, that was just a little sidebar. But yeah, girls and young, I'll have a couple of young women with me, young girls that are going to roll with me. I know one in particular is already going to hang out with me that day. And so that's pretty cool. And I'm excited about it because I'm going to be in the room with the youngins. So I'll be preparing for that. And hopefully I'll get to see your little girl or your young lady, or just see your face in the place. Mamas, come through. Mothers, not mothers, women. Come through on May 7th. Raffles, they have giveaways. Like I said, there'll be other presenters, and they just put on a very beautiful, beautiful events, especially for the ladies. So I'm sure I'll do another live before then, but thank you for taking the time to watch. I just figured it was appropriate to mention it since I'm talking about girls, right? Girls and young girls, and we got to teach them. They need some home training. Look, listen. That's what we used to say. Home training. I know my grandmother, she was no joke. She would crack the whip. You didn't even see the whip, but she was cracking it. She didn't play. I come from a line of women who didn't play. If you answered to one, you answered to them all. Period. Point blank. And I'm grateful for it because, like I said, I grew up in some rough places, man. I went to 3 different elementary schools. I went to a very, very violent junior high school and then high school in East New York. And, if I would have come from a messy, like they say, if on top of that, if my family would have been telling me to do messy stuff, God knows where I would be. Honestly, where would I be? So I'm grateful, that I came from a certain lineage of people who, they didn't teach us to be soft, but they did teach us to have respect and to be disciplined, and trained us well. So, yeah, have a great day and happy Mother's Day to you too, Rachel. And you community leaders that are out there, rise up. It's time. Rachel, are you flowing with me here? It seems like you in the spirit. I was just about to say, and now I see your comment, it takes a village. I was just about to say, community leaders, rise up, because it takes a village. That's so funny. Rachel, we here, Rachel. I see you. It takes a village. When I was a youth officer, I believed myself to be a part of the community when I was in Bedford-Stuyvesant. I didn't feel like I was better or different from them. I was a part of the community, and I was there to make it better. And I believe that's why we were so effective. That was part of the reason why we were so effective. So take your rightful place. You know who you are, the neighborhoods that you're in, where you come from. We see what's going on. But there was no reason for that attack to happen to them little girls, just for speaking a language that they were comfortable speaking. They were not bothering anybody. Okay? So Columbus, Ohio, you got to do better. Those schools out there, I forgot the school, something New Albany or something like that, schools, the father tagged into the video. You got to do better. Here in New York, we got to do better. We have to do better. And we can't wait. We got to stop waiting for somebody else to do it for us. Okay? So, thank you for watching again. Hope to see you May 7th, ladies and young girls. Come through. I'll post it. And again, I'll come back on live at some point before then. All right? Thank y'all for hanging out with me as always. Have a good night. Love y'all. Bye.